गुरुरेव गति गुरुमेव भजे गुरुनैव सखास्मि नमो गुरवे न गुरुः परमं शिशुरस्मि गुरोः मतिरस्ति गुरो मम पाहि गुरो सच्चिदानन्दरूपाय विश्वोत्पत्त्यादिहेतवे तापत्रयविनाशाय श्रीकृष्णाय वयं नमः। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय हरये परमात्मने प्रणतः क्लेशनाशाय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। यं प्रव्रजन्तमनुपेदमपेदकृत्यं द्वैपायनो विरहकादर आजुहाव पुत्रेति तन्मयतया तरवोऽभिनेदुस्तं सर्वभूतहृदयं मुनिमानतोऽस्मि। नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेतः। सर्वेभ्यः नमस्कारः. We are seeing Srimad Bhagavada Purana, and I have completed up to chapter 28 of Canto 4, and we saw a very famous and traditional allegory of Puranjana said by sage Narada to the Prachina Barhis, King Prachina Barhis. King Prachina Barhis was so much involved in doing the Vedic rituals, and sage Narada asked him, what is the need for all this? With what intention are you doing all this? He said. And he explained a very beautiful allegory. Allegory means a very beautiful tattva said in a very lucid form of story. He said the story of Puranjana. Puranjana was a king, and he was wandering to find a place to live, and at last he found a place of that is the city of nine gates. He entered there he met a very beautiful woman. They both married, and they lived there, and they had 1,100 sons and 110 daughters, and they were always aided by 10 people, and a serpent with 5 hoods always protected them, and they lived there happily. And once the daughter of time attacked the city of Puranjana and attacked Puranjana also, and he was dragged out of that city, and the Yavana, the king of Yavana, he dragged him, and all the way he was thinking about his wife, and so in the next birth he took as the form of a woman. There he met a Brahmana, and he came to understand the meaning of life. So this story of Puranjana is to make a person understand the reality of the Atma, or the reality of the life, or you can also say the travel of the Jivatma. It is the story of Jivatma. The story of Puranjana is the story of the Jivatma, and Puranjana is the Jivatma. And the Brahmana who came to help Puranjanas in the next birth as the woman, that was Ishvara Bhagavan. And the Puranjana, he entered the city of 9 gates. And that city of 9 gates is nothing but our body. The body with 9 orifices, or the 9 holes, the 2 eyes, the 2 nostrils, the 2 ears, the mouth, there it is 7. Then the organs of excretory organs and generative organs. So there are 9 holes in the body, and so this body is said as the city of 9 gates. And the damsel, the very beautiful woman he saw in the city of 9 gates, was the Buddhi, and 1,100 sons are the modifications of the Buddhi, and 110 daughters are the modification of the Indriyas, and he was always aided by 10 people. and that 10 people are the Indriyas, the 5 Jnanendriyas and the 5 Karmendriyas. And a serpent always with 5 hood protected them. That is that prana. And they lived happily in that city of 9 gates for nearly 100 years. And in between, Puranjana went for hunting, and that is his dream. And the chariot in which he went for hunting was the chariot. It was the dream body, and the two wheels of that chariot was the good karmas and the bad karmas, and the 5 horses harnessed to that chariot, they were the 5 senses, and the reins were the mind. From this city of 9 gates, this Puranjana, he always goes out to the outside world. And whenever he goes out to the outside world, he is all aided by or helped by 2 blind people, that are the hands and the legs, because the hands and the legs, they do not have the intelligence of their own. Whatever the mind says, it will do. So that is the blind people who always accompanied them. And the daughter of time, that was his old age. That is the daughter of time. And the king of Yavana is Mrityu, and the soldiers who entered the city of 9 gates, that were the soldiers of or the followers of Lord God Mrityu, Yamadeva. And he was often attacked by Chandavega, that he was an Gandharva. He was followed by 360 Gandharva men and 360 Gandharva women, and that is compared to the year with the 360 nights and 360 days. So these are all the allegory. It is a very easy way to understand a very big tattva. So the jiva, whatever the jiva thinks at the final moment, it takes the next birth. Like that only Puranjana, he always thought of his wife. And so in the next Janma, he took in the form of a noble woman, and she was born in the kingdom of Vidarbha and married to Malayadwaja. There she met in that Janma, towards the end of that Janma as a woman, she met a Brahmana who was Ishvara. And he said that you and we both were together in the river of Manasasaras, but you wanted worldly pleasure, so you took birth, and I was there, he said. And by that way, she understood her real nature and attained moksha. So the jiva, according to the gunas and according to its karma, and according to the majority of the thoughts it has during its lifetime, it takes the next birth. If it has more sattvic guna, then it will take birth as the god that is in the heaven. If that thoughts are of rajoguna, then it will have sufferings and all that miseries. If it has tamoguna, majority of the tamoguna, then it will always have darkness only. So according to the karma, what it does, the jiva takes birth. The jiva is blinded by ignorance. So any type of ritual or any type of other worship will not help the jiva that much to evade all these miseries and sorrows, because all that we suffer is because of our karmic impressions, because of our karma. That itself is due to avidya. And over that, if we do any Vedic rituals, that is also a part of avidya. What many people think is that Veda is the book of rituals. Vedas are not the one, not alone the book of rituals. That is one part of the Veda. The goal of the Veda is to understand our real self, that is our jiva, is not different from Paramatma. So that is the goal of the Vedas. So the initial part of the Vedas is completely karmas and karma kanda. We have to perform that, and we have to evolve our mind. If we keep on doing all the Vedic rituals, then if there will be no space for the mind to evolve. So whatever we understand from the rituals, whatever we understand from the worship, we have to contemplate on it and improve our mind or evolve, that is evolution, evolve our mind and understand our real nature as that Paramatma. So that is the aim of the Vedas and not only the Vedic rituals, said Sage Narada to the king Prachina Barhas. So for the mind to evolve, two easy ways is to always think about the glories of Bhagavan, to think about the glories and nature of Bhagavan, to hear it or to speak about it, sing the hymns of Bhagavan explaining his glories, and to contact with the holy men, to have satsang. All these are some of the ways by which we can improve or evolve our mind. By that, we can improve our bhakti. And Sri Narada also says that Harirdeha Bhridamatma Swayam Prakritirishwaraha Tatpadamulam Sharanam Yadakshemo Nrinamiha. Sri Hari, he is the soul of all the jivas. He is the master of everything and he protects everyone, all. He is the Ishvara. Ishvara means he protects all. So, surrendering to his feet is the only happiness, and by that way only, this jiva will feel comfortable, and that is the only way to remove the miseries of the mind, says Sri Narada. He also says that Savai Priyatamaschatma Yato na bhayamanvapi iti veda savai vidwan yo vidwan sagu Gurur Harihi. He is the Priyatama Atmacha. He is the dearest of all. He is the soul of all, and here is the dearest of all. By worshipping him, all the fear will be erased from our mind. And Narada says that Priyatama Atmacha na anu api bhayam. Not even a trace of anu api bhayam nasti in the mind of the bhaktas if we worship him, if we surrender everything to Bhagavan. And that person is a vidwan, he is intelligent, and he becomes Sa Harihi. He is Hari alone because he has completely surrendered to him and merged his Atma with him. So he is Hari. There will not be even a trace of bhaya in that bhakta. And hearing all this, King Prachina Barhas asked to Sage Narada, yeah, we do karmas with this body, but we may get its fruits in the next life with another body. How is it possible? So, whatever we do with this body, we have to get it with this body. But the body changes. So, how is it possible that we get the fruits of what we do in our next birth? He asked. And Sage Narada said, Yenaivarabhade karma tenaivamutra tatpuman bhungte hyavyavadhanena lingena manasa swayam. This linga sharira one has comes through all our birth. It is throughout our birth, it comes with us. This linga sharira, no one knows when it was formed, but till we attain liberation, this linga sharira will be the same. It won't change. This death and birth are only for this stula sharira, which is the body, which is the combination of this prakriti. So the birth and death and all the changing, everything happens only in the external level, exterior level, that is the body. That is only the gross body changes. Tenaiva avyaya tanena lingena manasa swayam tat bhungte. It is the mind in the linga sharira that experiences everything. That experiences happiness, that experiences the dukkha also. So it is the mind in the linga sharira experiences everything, and it is the same throughout our birth. Whatever birth we have taken, it is the same. Mamaite manasa yadyad asavahamiti bhruvan grihniya tat puman radham karmahena punarbhavaha yete mama till mine, it is mine, ahamasau, I am so and so. Iti manasa bruvan, if a person think like this, I, this is mine, this is, I am so and so. If the a person decide in his mind like this, if the mind decides like this, then all his actions will be based on it. And according to the action, one gets the next birth also. For example, if I decide myself as a great singer, for example, let me assume myself, I think in my mind as I am a great singer, then all my actions will be based on that. How to improve my singing, how to get chance, how to go to the organizations and get chance for it, how to grab the chance of others, how to give chance for others. Both punya and papa karmas I will do based on the decision that I am a singer. So based on that, if I have done the punya karmas, then I will get the higher birth. If I have done some malpractices to get chance and all that, then I get the degrading birth. It's a pava karma. I get the birth according to it. So my based on my actions, I will get the next birth. And how I decide, it is based on my mind. What I have decided in my mind, I perform the actions, and my according to the actions, I get the next birth, says Sage Narada. So the I sense, ahankara, attachment, where are all they? They are all in the subtle body, that is the linga sharira, that too in the mind. This gross body is only an instrument for the linga sharira. Or to be more precise, this gross body is only an instrument, as it works as an aid for the mind. That's all. Yada numiyate chittam ubhayairindriye hidaihi evam pragdehajam karma lakshyate chitta vrittibihi. So the according to the mind, the indriyas, they coordinate. Whatever the mind says, the indriyas will do. If I am speaking like this, my mind is telling, it's all registered in my mind, and it is directing me, and so I am speaking like this. So what I see, the mind directs. The mind directs me to look into the camera, not to look here or there. So everything, the direction is given in the mind, and the indriyas work according to it. And not only that, from the mind, how it works, we can infer what the previous birth of the person and how the future births also will be, whether it is good or bad, everything we can understand. So we will not do anything that is not registered in our mind. Sometimes we see strange dreams. We do not see out of the blue. We somewhere, some time it is impressed in the mind. Only that gets developed and comes up, pops up in the from the surface of the mind, and we see that dream. Sometimes we see strange people. By seeing that strange people, it may be good for us or it may be bad for us. No one knows. But seeing them will have an impact in our life. That's according to our karma. So, according to the karma, the mind attracts that thing, everything, whether it is person or the objects, everything it attracts. So, everything is based on the mind. So, this mind comes along with us, it doesn't change. It doesn't change like the body. And the body and the indriyas, everything are the servant of the mind or the aid of the mind. What the mind directs, that only the indriyas as well as the body will do, says Sage Narada. Mana eva manushasya purvarupani shamsati bhavishyadascha badram te tataiva na bhavishyataha. So, manasyeva purvarupani bhavishyataha cha shamsati. It is the mind that tells our previous birth, and by the how the mind works, we can infer how the birth of this person, this particular mind, in the next janma or in the future also. We can easily, to an extent, we can find out, because we all see how the mind works through this body and the indriyas. We can infer from that the previous birth as well as the bhavishya, future also. So what are all impressed in the mind? Those impressions, it gets developed and it is expressed through this indriyas and the body. Sometimes the even for the small child it is like that, but it cannot express more because its body is not fully developed. Even we adults, when we are in soon or we are not well, then our body may be weak to express those impressions, but the mind is very fresh, it is not weak at all. So that is expressed through the body and the indriyas, says sage Narada. नाहं ममेति भावोऽयं पुरुषे व्यवदीयते यावद् बुद्धिमनोक्षार्धगुणव्यूहो ह्यनादिमान्. Anadiman, from the long time, who no one knows who, when it started. Buddhi manoksharda guna vyuhaka, that is a combination, that is the buddhi and mind. This combination is the linga sharira, and yavat, no one knows when it will end. Tavat, till then, aham, aya, mama, iti, bhava, purushena, vyavadiyate. This ahankara, I, it is mine, all this will remain with the purusha, the jiva, till this linga sharira is there. So till this linga sharira and the mind is active, we all will have this ahankara, I, and that mamakara also. It is mine. Why are you taking it? Because of this ahankara, we have this mamakara also. It is mine and it is me. That ahankara will be there till a man has this, that jiva has this linga sharira with it. So what we see as the objects in this world, it is not the real objects we see it. We see it through our mind, through our indriyas. So it will have the trace of that coating of our mind. Suppose we see a very beautiful flower. Maybe there are some thorns in it. For example, a rose flower. We do not see that rose flower as it is. We see it through our mind, the experiences of our mind. Sometimes that thorn might have pricked us when we are very young or small. So we will say that this plant is very dangerous, it will prick me. So this rose is not good, we may say it. For some people, they have some pleasant experiences. So through that, they see the flower and say this flower is very good. But no one see this world, whatever it is, in reality. They see this world through their mind, through their experiences. That's why the great sages say, we never see the world, we only see the mind. And Narada says that, Evam panchavidham lingam trivrud shodasha vistrudam yesha chetanaya yukto jiva ityabhidiyate. So, evam linga shariram, this linga shariram, panchavidham, it has this five subtle elements. That is the five gross elements, the sukshma nature of the five subtle elements. They have it. That is the pancha tanmatras, we say, the subtle elements. Before it is became gross, that is subtle state of this five basic elements. Trivrut, that is the three gunas. This gets modified and it becomes a 16. That is the five organs of action, organs of knowledge, the five Buddhas, that is the Sukshma Buddhas, Tanmatras, and mind. So all this, it gets developed into 16. It's a combination. That is the Linga Sharira. So this Linga Sharira, is it alone enough? If the Linga Sharira alone is there, then it is not active. It is actually inert. So how to make it active? The reflection of the Chit falls on it. that is the Chitta Bhasa, falls on the Linga Sharira. Or you can say the reflection of Bhagavan falls on the Linga Sharira. And now the Linga Sharira is active, and this combination is called the Jiva. So the Linga Sharira alone will not work. The reflection of Bhagavan alone, that is the reflection of Chit alone, will also not work, because there will be no manifestation. It is there forever, but when it wants to manifest, it wants to fall on some Linga Sharira. So this combination together, the Linga Sharira, that is the modification of the Indriyas, the Pancha, subtle Tanmatras, and the Manas, this modification plus the reflection of the Chit, this combination is called Jiva, and this jiva takes multiple births until the mind detaches from the reflection of the chit. Then the chit will join with the Paramatma. So the mind has to understand it, the jiva has to detach from the mind. Then, till then, this combination will exist and it will take multiple births. So it is this jiva, because the Chaitanya, reflection of the Chaitanya, which is not different from the Chaitanya at all, falls on the mind, and it is this combination that experiences the sukha, dukkha, and everything, all the other experiences. And the jiva, once when it leaves this gross body, when the jivas, that the impressions in the mind, when it finds that this body is not capable of doing further action, it may be old or it may not be fit for the impressions in the mind, then it will detach from this gross body. So before that, this jiva will get hold of another body, or it will have the plan of another body, then only it will leave this body, just like how a caterpillar crosses from one blade of grass to the another blade of grass. So like this, it is made by the Creator. Adastatapavartham bhaja sarvatmana harim pashyam stadatmaham vishvam Stityutpatyapyayayatah. Therefore, Rajan, sage Narada, is telling to Raja Prachinabarhas, to overcome the bondage of samsara, you have to worship Sri Hari with wholehearted devotion. Completely devote yourself to Bhagavan. Then he will help you to detach this mind from that reflection of Bhagavan, and you will understand that you are not different from that pure Chaitanya. He is the source of the creation, preservation, and dissolution, and this world is his gross manifestation, says sage Narada. So King Prachina Barhis heard all of this very attentively, and so sage Narada said, now it's time for me to leave to my abode, to Brahmaloka. And sage Narada very clearly explained the story of the jiva with very clear explanations also he gave. And he advised him about how this jiva takes the different bodies. And having said all this, sage Narada went to his abode, and King Prachina Bahis also, he thought over it, and he left his kingdom and went to Kapilashrama to perform all these spiritual practices. And there he was thinking, completely involved in the meditation of Bhagavan. And later he was able to realize that his self, that is this Atma, is not different from that Paramatma. So with this ends chapter 29 in Canto 4 of Srimad Bhagavada Purana. And again, there are only 2 more chapters in this canto, which I will continue in my next upload. Om Namo Narayana Khila Guru Bhagavan Namaste. Om Sri Krishna Arpanamastu.